Matheny has three responses to this first objection. His first response is just a question, and I will elaborate on what I think he means when he asks this question. The question is, why would the possession of any of these traits allow for or justify the causing of pain and suffering to animals? In other words, even if a certain level of rationality or intelligence, or even if a certain level of ability to engage in the moral community were necessary for being a full-fledged member of the moral community, why would that then justify the ignoring of the pain and suffering that these other sentient beings are experiencing? So to elaborate, um, even if we grant the premise that beings who are more highly intelligent, more highly rational, more autonomous, more able to engage in the moral community, even if we grant that they deserve to be, that's what's required to be a full-fledged member of the moral community, why would we then say that those rational, intelligent, autonomous beings are then justified in simply continuing to cause unnecessary harm and pain and suffering to other sentient animals? It's not clear why that would be justified. If anything, we might even say that beings like humans who are more intelligent, more autonomous, more rational have a special responsibility for recognizing, or a special responsibility to recognize when they are causing pain and suffering to other sentient beings, and that humans have a special responsibility because we are more highly intelligent to care for the well-being of other sentient beings such as animals. It certainly doesn't show that we are justified in continuing to cause pain and suffering. It may show why we are morally required to prevent such pain and suffering. Matheny's second response is to basically say that if we are going to accept this objection, we must also accept the conclusion that human beings who are more highly intelligent or more highly rational or more autonomous deserve more moral consideration than other human beings. For instance, we'd have to say that Einstein or Bill Gates deserves more moral consideration than me or you because they are more highly intelligent and rational than me or you. Okay? If you think that's incorrect, if you think that's absurd, if you think that Bill Gates and you deserve equal moral consideration, then it must be because moral consideration is warranted by something other than intelligence and rationality. Because even though he's more highly intelligent and rational than you, he doesn't deserve more moral consideration. Matheny would suggest that you deserve equal moral consideration because you are equally sentient. Okay, so it's sentience, according to Matheny, that's sufficient for equal moral consideration. The third line of response that Matheny provides is that if we're going to accept this objection, then we must also accept the conclusion that there are some animals that deserve more moral consideration than some human beings. Why? Because there are some animals that are more rational, more intelligent, and more autonomous than some human beings. For instance, human infants. A human infant is not very rational or intelligent or autonomous. But certain animals, we might even say, such as rats, mice, bunnies, cows, dogs, we might say that these animals are more highly rational and intelligent than an infant. So according to this line of argument, according to the reasoning of this objection, we'd have to give more moral consideration to animals than we do to some human beings. So again, that leads to a conclusion that presumably the objector wouldn't readily accept. And that shows that the original objection is unsatisfactory. So basically, Matheny is arguing that this objection fails to show that some other trait is necessary for deserving true moral consideration. It fails to show that sentience is not sufficient for deserving equal moral consideration.